Hey everyone, my YAs have officially flown the coop. I'm living in an empty nest now, and I just want to share with you a few things that I thought might be helpful for some of you, if not now, down the road, or maybe someone you know, as well as just sharing, my thoughts and how things are going over here for little old me. The YAs, being independent adults, did a great job of researching all of the different avenues you could access for moving your stuff halfway across the country. And after narrowing it down, the most affordable method was renting a U-Haul box, which is what most of us would think of as a pod, those red and white ones that you see in people's driveway. And they come in small, medium, and large pods or U-Haul boxes. And the girls were told that the small box would fit everything that you would have in one bedroom. Now, I don't know if it would fit a full master bedroom, but let's call it a spare bedroom because that's what they came out of. To get two small pods, roughly 6 by 9 feet by 8 feet tall, the two pods combined came to roughly $1,900. And they found out to rent one pod, a small pod from the name brand pod company, would have been an additional $1,000 or an additional $2,000 for two pods, right? So, and it's free to register on U-Haul site. You can go in there and you can pick your date. You don't have to put any money down at that point. 24 hours prior to them dropping off your U-Haul box, they paid $219, and they are told it's going to take a week to 2 weeks. We assume 2 weeks to go from Florida to Kansas. That's the way it works. The pods were like new, and they came with great big stacks of brand new packing blankets, all shrink wrapped, 2 big piles in each pod. There's, as you'll see here, a barcode on the side of each of the pods. You scan it with your phone, and then you can track wherever your pod is through the course of it being shipped until it arrives at your house, which I thought was really cool. And I'll let you know how that goes. So, a couple of weeks from now, the pods will be arriving, and I'll have the girls send me some pictures to see if anything was damaged in shipping. But those pods, pictures are worth 1,000 words, right? They were packed floor to ceiling, side to side, really not much room for shifting in there at all. So that worked out really well. And I love it that they're trackable, but even better, when the pods were dropped off here on Thursday, the lady called ahead to let them know she was on her way. The nicest, most professional, sweetest gal, and let me tell you, gorgeous. Rolled up in a great big flatbed with a big semi truck and a flatbed behind it with the pods on it, and a forklift. Got those pods onto our driveway like she knew what she was doing. And then they drove the car, stuffed to the roof, and the trunk couldn't get another thing in it. So anyway, that's how that all went, and I'm so happy for them. They drove up, out of Florida, Georgia, Tennessee. They stayed overnight in Nashville, and on Monday, last night, and then today, 5 hours, driving Kentucky, a little bit of Illinois, and then into Missouri, and they're staying over at their dad's for a couple of days. And then they'll have about 3 hours to actually get to Kansas City and their new townhouse. So that's their big adventure this week. Back here in Florida in the empty nest. Of course, really, yesterday was very, very tough. But, I can be too prideful, I'll admit that. But yesterday was in no way a day for trying to tough it out on my own. So a couple hours on the phone with my best friend who lives in Tampa. God bless her. She really talked me down from the ledge. And then I went to my new gym just to talk about that a little bit, to help anybody who might be thinking about joining a gym. Oh, everybody's metro area has different gym options, and we have several here in Port St. Lucie, but the girls had already belonged to Fitness and Go, which was formerly known as Gold's Gym here. They recently did a fantastic renovation on it, but I'd gone to that gym with them a couple of times for free, guest, before they moved. And although I really liked the facility, my favorite thing about it was they've got a room full of massage chairs that are just unbelievably good. If you need like a lymphatic drainage kind of massage, those chairs will do it for you. And then they have the hydro chairs, which I'd never heard of. That's kind of like a chaise lounge with water jets that massage you through the pad in the chair somehow, and you can choose whether or not you have heat. That kind of feels like a heating pad as it goes. Oh my gosh, you guys, those things are downright therapeutic. And then of course all the great gym equipment you could want. That gym was going to be $150 to sign up and $45 a month. And even though, I could afford it, I said, yeah, well, let me check a couple other options. And I went to Planet Fitness because I happened to have listened to a podcast interview of the founder, the CEO, and I was so impressed with him. So I went and I checked out Planet Fitness, and it turns out they have all the great equipment you could want, even more. And they also have the fabulous hydro chairs, the same chairs, I think. Their massage chairs aren't quite as fabulous as the ones at the other gym. But they also have, which I think is a huge, huge plus, a red light therapy booth. You ever seen those stand-up tanning booths? Well, it doesn't tan you, it's red light therapy, which is supposed to be good for us in so many different ways. I'll put a list up here. And I'd read about it, listened to all the, how to increase your health span / longevity kind of gurus. And they've all sung the praises of red light therapy. So I was so thrilled to see that at Planet Fitness. And then let's get down to the money part, because that's what also really counts, right? $1 to sign up, only $25 a month membership, and that's gets me into any Planet Fitness in the country. And I can also bring a friend whenever I want for free, unlimited times. And also a $50 membership, an annual membership, but I won't get charged that until September. So long story short, comparing the two gyms, Planet Fitness is half the price of the other gym and offers a couple of things that it doesn't. So that's the one I went with. It's about the same amount of driving time, only the drive to Planet Fitness is a lot more relaxing because it's just a couple of stoplights, not a lot of crazy traffic like in the other gym's area. So I joined the gym before the girls left. I joined that on Friday. And so yesterday, day one of the empty nest, after I got off the phone with a friend, I went to Planet Fitness, and the first thing I did was sit on that hydro table or chair. And so started in with my healthy eating last week, and I'm down 5 pounds, but boy, I've got a long ways to go. I just wanted to mention that if you follow my channel, you've probably heard me talk about James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits, and so many gold nuggets that he mentions. And I have found myself remembering over and over the one that he mentioned about consistency and to put everything in place that you can to make the good habits that you want to form as easy as possible to get into, and to make the bad habits you want to get out of harder. So my strategy has been to get rid of all the junk in the house. I literally have no sweets here except for low carb, no sugar. I made a couple goodies. I made these peanut butter bombs for 4th of July. I made those fruit and yogurt bars. And so if I get a sweet attack, I'll nibble on those. But I'm trying to keep the snacking to a minimum, preferably not at all, because I'm also trying to focus on the intermittent fasting. And back to being an empty nester, there are some upsides that I'm trying to focus on. And as much as I like to cook and have dinner with my girls, it made it really hard to do the intermittent fasting in the way that's best for me. And I have found I just can't eat after 4 o'clock and lose weight. Even if it's a healthy, fairly light meal, eating around 6:37-ish, that scale does not budge for me. I'm taking advantage of, it's just me now. Well, let's call yesterday, day one, was a total fast. I didn't do it on purpose, but needless to say, between getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and being very emotionally fraught, I had zero appetite. I ate nothing. And then today, I made the salad that you'll see here, just kind of a hodgepodge of things that I had on hand. We had done fajitas on Thursday, so I had about 6 ounces of chicken, I'm guesstimating, mixed with the peppers and onions. I just put it all in a Tupperware. Then I roasted a whole head of cauliflower, plopped in a little bit of chopped kale with it, and did some Southwest Chipotle ranch kind of dressing with it. So that's how I'm going at things. I may go to the gym later. I had planned on going straight to the gym after work, but it was pouring rain, and I decided to take advantage of my first evening at home, because I don't even count yesterday, making this video for you all to keep myself busy and share with you what's going on over here in the nest. Trying to focus on high protein, low carb veggies, a little low carb fruit, and no alcohol, because I want to get the weight off. And I'm told by several experts that alcohol kind of puts your liver to sleep. Your body sees it as toxic and it wants to focus on getting rid of that. So even if you haven't eaten anything but you had a glass of wine, your body's going to work on getting rid of the alcohol, and it's not going to burn fat. And that can take as long as 72 hours for your liver to get back to where it's going to focus on burning fat. So needless to say, I'm not going to complicate things for myself. I'm going to try my best to stay out of the Chardonnay as much as I enjoy it, and as easy as it would to give myself an excuse about being upset with the sudden empty nest thing. I'm not going to use that as a crutch. I'm going to give it 30 days of the healthy eating, trying to really increase the exercise. And then, at the end of the 30 days, I may have a glass or two of wine on a weekend going forward. We'll see how that goes. But I've got a significant amount of weight I want to get off. And back to James Clear and being consistent. You've got to connect the days. For myself personally, in the past, as soon as I started slipping a little bit, next thing you know, I'm back to my old habits, and I don't want to go there. So I'm definitely going to stay focused. Another one of being here by myself, and go ahead and laugh, feel free. I'm, the pride thing, right? And even though my daughters are adorable and they would never say anything snarky, at least pretty much never, I am self-conscious about what I weigh. So I decided this morning when I weighed myself, hey, I'm home alone. I'll be lucky if anybody even knocks on the door. This morning, I took one of those chalk pens that's kind of a creamy pen, not like a powdery chalk, and I wrote my weight right there on my bathroom mirror up at the corner. I measured my chubby old fluffy waist, wrote that up there. And let me tell you, when you walk in the bathroom and have to see that every time, boy, that's a real reminder not to get into the snacks. So I would never have done that if I weren't living here alone. So I did. There it is, that number I don't like's up there, and I'm gonna keep writing it down the side. When I run out of room, I'll write down the other side. I also did a quick little Aldi haul on Friday, and a little, really little Winn-Dixie meat haul Thursday last week, and I'll show that to you. They had some really good chicken prices. I didn't need chicken breast. My girls just don't prefer thigh chicken meat, but I really like it. And I had read that you should mix up your proteins because you want the full amino acid profile. So even if you're eating chicken, white meat has different amino acid profile than the dark meat. And I got a couple packages on a really good sale there at Winn-Dixie. I need to get some more produce down the road, but I am going to really try to focus on keeping my monthly grocery spend as low as possible so I can get that car paid off. It will really mostly just be buying dairy and a little produce. My garden's kind of disappointing right now, but that's another thing I'm going to spend time working on now that I've got more time to myself. That's the game plan. And I just wanted to say in closing here a few things in perspective on if you're facing a great big change, especially an empty nester change. One, make a list of the things that you want to do with the people. Maybe they're moving or you're moving before you can't. It's probably going to be at least Christmas before I see my girls again. So I didn't get absolutely everything done on the list, but I got pretty much everything. I mean, they were small things like have dinner at the table together, go to the beach together, watch a movie together. You get the idea. It didn't have to be a big event. The second point, really try to focus on the people you're with. This goes for any time, but especially when you're going to soon not be able to see them as much as you'd like. It's easy to get distracted, right, when you're talking with someone, but really tune in, and instead of thinking about what you want to say, focus on their face, their eyes, how they're saying it, what they're saying it, why they're saying it. Just focus more deeply than you might typically, especially people you've been seeing every day. If you're like me and you're working from home and you kind of feel like you don't have very many friends, your social circle's smaller than you'd like, but it doesn't really matter right now, well, down the road, when your nest is empty, that's really going to matter. But like the girls pointed out, on the positive side, because you got to see the silver lining, it'll be a lot easier for me when I'm ready to move to Kansas City, because I don't have a boyfriend here or, good friends that I'm leaving behind. So, that's good, I guess, right? Because that would be hard. So I'm just trying to take advantage of any little social opportunities that come along. It just, it's the little things, the moments that you might not take advantage of that matter, I think. I really appreciate all of you, I really do, tuning in. I can't get over what a difference having a YouTube channel has made in my life. I always, for years, watched one YouTube after the next, one video and millions of channels at a time, right? I really enjoyed it, learned a lot, thank you all. But having your own channel gives you the opportunity to communicate with people in a way that you can't do when you're just watching. So if any of you out there are thinking about starting a channel, don't be shy. You'll be surprised how much it can add to your life. If you're like me, there will be frustrations with the learning curve, and maybe you're just like me using your iPhone, because I'm not at the point where I want to invest in an expensive camera, maybe down the road, but get through the little learning curves, and that's good for you too, right? We're all smarter for having learned a new skill. They say it keeps your brain young, and that's a benefit right there. So I just want to encourage and inspire everyone out there. If you're going through tough changes, you come to my channel and comment on any video. I don't have an Instagram page for my channel yet, but I'm working on that. It's on my list. But pop into any video I've put up and comment about whatever you want, even if it doesn't have anything to do with that video, and I get an email notification, and I will read it and I will reply, because I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead of you, and I appreciate you tuning in here. I'll see you on the next one.